Secrets don't stay buried forever. And in reasonable doubt, every truth that comes to light leaves behind another shadow. As the walls close in, loyalties crack, and hidden motives start to rise. Episode 6 is shaping up to be the moment where silence finally breaks in. Nothing will ever be the same again. Episode 5 left us all holding our breath. It was one of those episodes that didn't just move the story forward, it tore open old wounds and forced every character to look in the mirror. Jax found herself standing at a dangerous crossroads, caught between the life she's built and the secrets she's tried to bury. The tension in her voice, the unease in her eyes, told us one thing clearly. She's no longer in control, and she knows it. Every decision she made in this episode came with a heavy cost, and the weight of her past was no longer something she could hide behind her sharp suits or calm tone. Meanwhile, Damon's presence continued to hang like a dark plaid over every scene he was in. There's something magnetic yet dangerous about him. He's unpredictable, driven by a need that seems to blur the line between love and obsession. His connection with Jax feels like a ticking time bomb, and episode 5 only made that clearer. The tension between them is raw, real, and filled with history they can't outrun. You can feel it in every glance, every pause, every word left unsaid. It's not just about what happened between them, it's about what might still happen. And that's where the danger lies. Then there's Brayden. His world is falling apart piece by piece, and episode 5 showed a man running out of places to hide. The calm, confident image he once had is cracking, and you can sense fear behind his every move. His business decisions, his marriage, his secrets, they're all catching up with him. There's a moment where his eyes shift just slightly, revealing guilt, or maybe panic. Either way, it's clear, Brayden's mask is slipping. And episode 6 might finally push him past the edge. The courtroom scenes and tense confrontations in episode 5 built an atmosphere of unease that didn't fade even after the credits rolled. Every conversation felt like it had double meanings. Every smile hid a threat. And Jax's balancing act between her professional duties and personal chaos started to crumble in plain sight. Her clients are losing trust, her family's questioning her choices, and her enemies are growing bold. The show has always been about control and perception, but now both are slipping through her fingers, and through it all, there's a feeling that something bigger is coming. The quiet moments, the lingering camera shots, the unfinished sentences, they all point to episode 6 being a turning point. The characters have been circling their secrets for too long, and it feels like the storm is finally here. The lines between truth and lies, love and manipulation, loyalty and betrayal, they're all blurring fast. And once they cross that line, there's no going back. Episode 5 wasn't just another chapter, it was a warning. A quiet before the explosion. And if the clues we've been seeing are right, episode 6 won't just deliver answers, it'll destroy illusions. Everything that's been built could come crashing down, and the truth that's been hiding in the dark might finally show its face. Jax is no longer just the sharp attorney who walks into a courtroom like she owns it. She's a woman slowly losing control over the life she fought so hard to build. Her confidence now carries cracks. Her calmness hides storms. You can almost feel the weight she's carrying in her silence. The pressure from her professional world is bleeding into her personal one, and every glance, every decision seems to carry the echo of guilt. What makes Jax such a complex character isn't her strength, it's the way she keeps standing even when the ground beneath her is breaking. Episode 5 showed us a Jax who's haunted, not by what's happening around her, but by what she's becoming. Her morality is no longer clear-cut. She's balancing truth and survival, justice and self-preservation, and in episode 6, that line might finally collapse. Damon, on the other hand, is the embodiment of chaos that feels too personal to ignore. There's a quiet danger in the way he moves through Jax's life, a ghost from her past that refuses to fade. His love isn't the kind that heals. It's the kind that burns everything in its path. Yet, deep inside, there's pain, something human that makes him hard to completely hate. His loyalty to Jax seems real, but his methods keep twisting darker with every episode. He's the kind of man who says he wants to protect her but leaves destruction in every step. Damon's presence has always tested Jax's limits, but now it's testing her identity. Episode 6 might force them into a choice: either walk away or destroy each other completely. Then comes Brayden, once the image of wealth and confidence, now visibly unraveling. The charm he used to control situations is losing its effect. His arrogance feels like a shield that's cracking. You can see fear in him now, the kind of fear that comes when power begins to slip. His story has always been about control over his image, his career, and the people around him. But episode 5 peeled that away. In episode 6, Brayden's desperation could drive him to make his most dangerous move yet. Whether that's betrayal, confession, or manipulation, one thing's certain: he won't go down quietly. His scenes are starting to feel like a man fighting not to be exposed, and the more he fights, the more he shows who he really is. And then there's Lewis, a man caught between love, resentment, and confusion. His relationship with Jax has turned into a battlefield where trust is the first casualty. He's not the same calm husband anymore. He's a man questioning everything. You can see it in his hesitation, his tone, his body language. The love that once held them together is now mixed with suspicion and pride. Lewis is tired of living in Jax's shadow, and episode 6 might be the moment he decides whether to walk away or fight back. His choices now don't just affect his marriage, they could change the entire direction of the story. Even the supporting characters feel like they're carrying more than they show. Spencer, with his quiet watchfulness, seems to know more than he lets on. Sarah's loyalty is being tested by the lies she's been told. Every side character feels like a piece of a puzzle that's starting to take shape, a shape that looks more like a storm than a solution. What's fascinating about Reasonable Doubt right now is how every relationship is built on thin ice. Trust is a luxury no one can afford. Each character is pretending to be fine, but under the surface, they're breaking in different ways. Every look, every pause, every word feels loaded with tension. The writers have built a world where silence says more than dialogue. And episode 6 is where those silences might finally speak. Jax's inner circle is shrinking, and the people she once leaned on are turning into mirrors that reflect her flaws. Her ambition has protected her for years, but now it's isolating her. The deeper she digs for truth, the more she realizes that she's standing alone. And that loneliness, more than any enemy, might be what destroys her. As we head into episode 6, one thing is certain: every character is standing on a line they can't uncross. Some will seek redemption, others revenge. But the beautiful chaos of Reasonable Doubt lies in this: everyone thinks they're doing what's right, even when they're destroying the people they love. The stage is set, the pieces are moving, and no one is safe from the truth that's coming next. Every story reaches a point where the lies can't breathe anymore, and Reasonable Doubt is right there. Episode 6 feels like the storm the show has been quietly building since the season began. Everything that was once hidden under charm, ambition, and control is starting to surface. The cracks in every relationship, the secrets behind every motive, are about to collide. If the previous episodes were about survival, episode 6 will be about exposure. At its heart, the main theme taking shape is truth versus protection. The series has always played with the idea that sometimes the truth doesn't set you free, it destroys everything you love. Jax has built a life around telling the truth for others but hiding it for herself. In episode 6, that contradiction is finally catching up to her. She's fighting to protect her image, her family, and her career. But deep down she knows that the same truth she's running from could be the key to her peace. It's an emotional trap: choose honesty and lose everything, or keep lying and lose yourself. That's the fire episode 6 will burn in. Another theme that stands out is the illusion of control. Every major player in Reasonable Doubt believes they're pulling the strings: Jax in her courtroom, Damon in the shadows, Brayden in his business empire, and Lewis within his broken marriage. But episode 6 might flip that illusion on its head. What if none of them are actually in control? What if the very secrets they're keeping are controlling them? The writing has been planting small hints, The way Jax hesitates before making choices that used to come easily. The way Brayden overcompensates with confidence. And the way Damon's plans always seem to fall apart just when he's closest to getting what he wants. Episode 6 feels like the moment when the puppets realize they've been part of someone else's design all along. Then there's consequence, the kind that doesn't arrive all at once, but in small, painful reminders. Every decision made in this show has left a stain somewhere. Every lead told has a ripple effect. The beauty of Reasonable Doubt is that it doesn't deal in clean justice. It deals in emotional truth. Episode 6 could finally bring those ripples crashing back in waves. Jax might face the professional backlash of her personal life bleedy. Trust and deception will likely take center stage again, but with sharper edges. The show's writers have been masterful at showing that every relationship has layers of truth and performance. Episode 6 might be where those performances fall apart. Jax's trust in her allies could be tested in ways she never expected. Someone close to her might reveal their true motives, and it won't be pretty. The people she thought she could rely on may have been watching her, studying her, waiting for the right moment to use her weaknesses against her. That's what makes this series so magnetic. Its danger doesn't come from outside threats, but from the people standing right beside the main character. A new emotional thread that might deepen in episode 6 is redemption. Not the soft kind filled with apologies, but the desperate kind where someone tries to fix what's broken by breaking something else. Damon might seek redemption through revenge. Brayden might try to clean his image by throwing someone else under the bus. And Jax might finally try to make peace with her choices. But peace doesn't come easy when you've built your life on power plays. Redemption in Reasonable Doubt always comes at a price. And episode 6 might finally make someone pay in full. Symbolically, episode 6 could mirror the tone of a slow, tightening noose. Every character is caught in a situation where time is running out and decisions can no longer be delayed. The lighting, the pacing, even the silences will likely grow heavier. Expect a lot of close-up tension, long pauses that make the audience lean in, and moments where you can almost hear the characters' thoughts louder than their dialogue. In simple terms, episode 6 is where the show stops asking questions and starts demanding answers. It's where control meets consequence, love meets fear, and truth finally meets exposure. Every scene will feel like it's teetering on the edge of revelation. By the time the episode ends, someone's world will have collapsed quietly, painfully, and inevitably. Because in Reasonable Doubt, justice doesn't come in a courtroom. It comes when the lies you tell start to sound too much like the truth and everyone finally realizes they've been living in the dark. Every great story reaches a point where truth stops whispering and starts screaming. And episode 6 feels like that moment. Reasonable Doubt has always thrived on tension between truth and perception, love and control, justice and compromise. But what's coming next feels bigger. The walls that kept secrets safe are cracking, and everyone's lies are starting to sound the same. The question now isn't just who's guilty, it's who's brave enough to admit it. One of the most powerful themes rising in this part of the story is betrayal, but not in a loud, obvious way. This is betrayal that seeps quietly through trust. It's the kind that looks like comfort, sounds like love, and cuts the deepest when the mask finally falls. Jax, Damon, and Brayden are all circling each other with secrets heavy enough to sink them. The show has built a pattern where every act of protection hides a layer of deceit, and episode 6 could finally make that pattern explode. The audience will likely see characters who once seemed loyal turning into unexpected enemies. And the ones we doubted might just show a flicker of redemption. Another theme that's been gaining strength is the cost of truth. Jax has spent her entire career chasing justice, but now she's facing the kind of truth that doesn't set you free. It shatters everything you thought you knew. The writers have been planting subtle clues in her body language, in the way she hesitates before answering questions, in the way her world keeps shrinking. The truth she's been avoiding isn't just about her clients or her past, it's about herself. And episode 6 feels like the moment that mirror finally cracks. The tagline might as well be careful what you prove, because you might prove yourself guilty. Power is another silent storm brewing underneath it all. Reasonable doubt has always been about who holds control and who pretends to. In this next episode, expect that balance to shift. Jax's authority might be tested in ways that go beyond the courtroom. Brayden's confidence could break under pressure as his empire begins to crumble. Damon, who's been the unpredictable wildcard, might finally use his chaos to his advantage. When desperation meets power, people stop playing by rules, and episode 6 might show just how far these characters are willing to go when they feel cornered. Redemption could also play a major role, but not the gentle kind. This isn't about forgiveness. It's about survival. Each character seems to be looking for a way to rewrite their own story before it ends badly. Luz might try to reclaim his pride by exposing the lies around him. Jax might be forced to choose between saving her career or saving her soul. Damon might seek peace in the most destructive way possible. Episode 6 feels like the point where redemption and destruction start to look dangerously similar. There's also a heavy emotional theme of identity, how much of who we are is built on truth, and how much on illusion. Jax has built her entire image on being composed, powerful, and in control. But what happens when that image no longer matches who she is inside? The cracks in her confidence, the loneliness behind her success, those are more dangerous than any courtroom loss. The show is slowly peeling away the layers to reveal the woman beneath the reputation. And episode 6 could be the moment we finally see who she truly is. Without the armor, visually and emotionally, the tone of episode 6 might shift into something darker. Expect scenes heavy with silence, long glances, and emotional pauses that say more than words ever could. The atmosphere might tighten, the color palette might dim, and the sense of finality might creep in. Every moment will feel like a countdown to confrontation, confession, or collapse. And then, of course, there's the question everyone's asking: who will fall next? If the show's rhythm holds true, episode 6 could deliver a major betrayal or reveal that redefines the rest of the season. Maybe it's a secret Jax never wanted out. Maybe it's Damon's next move. Maybe it's Brayden finally losing everything he's tried to protect. Whatever it is, it won't be quiet. The writers have been too careful, too deliberate, for episode 6 to pass without shock. The truth is, reasonable doubt doesn't deal in clean resolutions. It builds tension until it breaks you, then shows you the cost of looking away. And that's what makes episode 6 feel so unpredictable. Everyone has something to hide. Everyone's afraid of being exposed. And when the curtain finally falls, no one, not even Jax, will be able to walk away untouched. The game of deception is almost over, but the damage it's caused might just be beginning. In episode 6, expect hearts to break, masks to fall, and justice to take a form no one sees coming. Because in this world, truth doesn't set you free, it decides who survives.